Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, June the 28th. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clay Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. Today I want to look at the future of the Vancouver Canucks, and not the 10, 15, 20-year future. I'm talking about the next 3 to 5 years, looking at the prospects. And I bring this up because the Vancouver Canucks have just wrapped up their prospects, their summer development camp for prospects. 3 days at UBC, then a day on the grouse grind today. And we got a chance to see guys that have already played in the league, 1 or 2 games. I'll get to them in a second. NCAA guys. We've seen guys that were drafted a week ago and everyone in between. And I would say that when you look at the Canucks prospects, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, we were really worried because we didn't have anyone in the pipeline. Mike Gill's built a win-now team, and now we're seeing the ramifications of that as we've missed the playoffs for the past 4 seasons and slowly building up our prospect pool once again. We've lost a few guys. Obviously there's going to be the conditional first-round draft pick to Tampa Bay for the JT Miller trade. A guy like Jonathan Dahlen, we didn't draft him, but we traded for him, but he didn't work out. So no prospect ever going to work out 100%, and we might not be as far along as some people want. We might not be as deep as other teams, but I will say we are obviously much better than we were 5 or 6 years ago. So let's talk about some of these guys by position. Obviously, we're excited about guys that were drafted by the Canucks that are having an impact right now. Guys like Horvat and Pettersson and Hughes, and then Jake Virtanen to a lesser extent, and then Brock Besser, of course. So yeah, our core 4 were all drafted by us. Horvat, Besser, Pettersson, and Hughes. Add Jake Virtanen, add Olli Juolevi, hopefully coming in soon. So Thatcher Demko, a later pick, a second-round pick. He's also in their second or third-round pick. So Thatcher Demko is going to be a big part of this team. So we have guys that we've drafted that are having an impact right now. So then you look at the next wave, right? The next group of guys. Let's start in goal and work our way out. In goal, Michael DiPietro. He is going to form, hopefully, a strong tandem with Thatcher Demko down the years once Jacob Markstrom either moves on or gets on in his career. So we do have a nice succession plan there of Markstrom. It's the last year of his contract. We'll see what happens after this. Thatcher Demko, of course, who I've talked about many times, the Canucks, talking Luongo-like terms for him and their hopes for him, and then Michael DiPietro. So you have guys like Jake Kiley as well, Michael Thiessen. So I think in goal we're pretty strong, especially when you look at Demko, who's not a prospect anymore, he's a pro, and Michael DiPietro. And then, behind him, not too worried about that yet. We've drafted a few guys, so there are a few goalies in our system. So I think we are fine in goal for now with Demko and especially DiPietro. And when I say especially, DiPietro's still the prospect, of course. You go out to the D. The D is probably the weakest part of the 3 positions. And you have guys like Olli Juolevi, who's going to step up and hopefully play for the Vancouver Canucks this season. Whether or not he starts depends on how his training camp goes, how strong he is, and if we get anyone in trades or free agency. But we know that Juolevi is going to be a major player on this team, maybe starting as early as this season. Then you have guys like Jet Wu, our second-round pick last year. We have Toni Uutinen, who was our pick last year. Then you have guys like Jack Rathbone in Harvard, who's kind of intriguing. And then I know the Canucks are still high on Jalen Chatfield, who's playing in Utica right now, right side D-man. You can never have enough right side D-men. So, but then it kind of thins out. Oh, and then the 2 NCAA guys. Brogan Rafferty played 2 games. Josh Teves played 1 game last season. And I've heard from a direct source from the Canucks that they're a tiny bit higher on Rafferty than Teves, but that was based on a very, very small sample size. Both guys might work out. Both guys might end up being depth guys. So that's really what you look at when you think of our D-men. You think of Juolevi, then you think of Jet Wu, who will hopefully make this team in a couple years. And then you have guys like Rathbone and Uutinen, and then Teves and Rafferty and Chatfield. So not a lot of depth there. That's probably our weakest part. And then it's not great when Edler and Tanev are on their later years. You have guys like a Stetcher and, of course, a Quinn Hughes. But not a lot after that. And Juolevi, of course, that they have high hopes for. So I'd say of the 3 positions, the D concerns me a little bit. Oh, by the way, I want to encourage you Canucks fans or viewers on here to leave comments while you're watching this video. So tell me what you think about the goalies. DiPietro, are you sold on him? Are you excited about DiPietro Demko tandem down the road? And do you share my concern about the D-men? Am I missing someone? Do you think someone's going to turn out way better than we think, or do you think someone's not going to turn out as well as we hope? And that would be bad, of course. So leave a comment below on either the goalies or the D-men as you listen to this, as you look at my good-looking mug talking about these things. Got a haircut too, as you can tell. Okay, the forwards. The forwards are interesting because there are a lot. There are a lot of forwards, and you just look at the 2 from this year, from the first and second round. A lot of excitement around Vasili Podkolzin And then a lot of excitement about our second rounder, Nils Hoglander. And we saw some of the highlights from development camp of him putting sick moves on our defenseman, going top shelf backhand. So we've heard that as we learn more about him, that he's got among the best hands of all the players drafted last week. So he could be a wild card. I think he's getting people really excited. Not as excited as Podkolzin, but both guys. Can you imagine both guys playing for us in 2, 3, 4 years? That's pretty exciting. And obviously, with Podkolzin, we've talked about the fact that he could be a steal at number 10 in the draft. And with Hoglander, we've had success, some good success, obviously, with skilled Swedes up front, especially with Pettersson, of course. That's who I was referring to. So we'll see what happens with those guys. But yeah, some excitement there between those two. Then you have guys that, later round draft picks that still could have an impact on the team, either as depth guys or as difference makers. I'm still high on Cole Lind. I know I was talking to Comets Corey Hergott. I met him at the draft, which is really, really nice to meet him there. He has high hopes for guys like Lind and Gadjevich still. He still think they can be impact players at the pro level. So shout out to Corey. Corey, keep up the great work, everything that you do, and thank you for being a voice of reason. Not just in Canucks media, but of course with the Utica Comets. So you have Podkolzin, you have Hoglander, you have Cole Lind, you have Jonah Gadjevich. Then you have some later picks that still might make an impact. The college guys like Will Lockwood and Tyler Madden. Those guys still excite me as well. And then, kind of like from the Adam Gaudette mold. So you have 6 guys there that I just named that could figure into the Canucks plans in the upcoming years, not this season maybe, but maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the road. I know the Canucks are still high on Zach McEwen. You might not call him a prospect anymore. He's a pro, right? He plays in the AHL full time now, but he showed glimpses when he came up. So there were 7 guys there that could be on the Canucks roster in a few years. Podkolzin, Hoglander, Lind, Gadjevich, Madden, Lockwood, and McEwen. And then there's a lot of guys, later round picks who may not make a big difference, who may not make an impact, but you need depth as well. So the forwards, I think we are looking a little better. And when you look at guys like Besser, Horvat, and Pettersson, and Gaudette, even you see some of how some of our core is still quite young. Virtanen in there as well. The forwards are the ones I'm most excited about because you're going to eventually have to replace the Sutters, the Beagles, the Bearchees, the Roussells of the world, right? As those guys get in their late 20s, early 30s, mid 30s, they need to be pushed from behind from some of the guys I talked about. So I'd say the forwards are the ones I'm most excited about, buoyed by Podkolzin and Hoglander, of course. And then, I get, still relatively excited about the goaltending with DiPietro there. And then the defense is probably the part I'm least excited in, probably where we're going to need the most help and the most development over the next few years. Canucks fans, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you share my excitement about the forwards, my little quasi-order of forwards, goalies, D-men? Am I missing someone or am I missing something? Am I overrating anyone? Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the weekend, the last weekend before July 1st. Free agent frenzy. Let's see how active the Canucks are. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.